Hello everyone. Today we're starting week 2 of our 8-week development plan focusing on high pressure. The goal of this session is to teach players how to press, stay compact, and force mistakes in the attacking third. We'll break down how to disrupt the opponent's build-up, create defensive shape, and regain possession high up the field. Let's dive into the main principles, sub-principles to achieve the desired behavior, and the 5 W's for today's session. To improve high pressure, we're focusing on the following principles. First, build pressure on the ball by aggressively challenging the players with the ball to disrupt their play. Second, create a defending shape by staying compact to deny passing options and limit space. To achieve these principles, player will focus on the following sub-principles. First, initiate pressure on the player with the ball. This requires immediate reaction and collective effort to force mistakes. Second, make the team compact by minimizing gaps between players, both vertically and horizontally, ensuring the opponent has limited space to work with. Players will also work on pressing, quickly closing down the player with the ball, challenging, applying control aggression to force errors, delaying, slowing the opponent's progress to allow teammates to recover, adapting body shape, staying low and ready to adjust in any direction, covering, supporting teammates by filling spaces left open during the press, tracking, following off-the-ball players to deny them space and passing options. Here's a breakdown of what we're working on today. What? We need to improve applying high pressure to disrupt the opponent's build-up play. Where? Attacking third. Who? Players 9, 10, 7, 6, and 8. When? When the opponent tries to build out from the back, these players will press as a unit to challenge and delay their progress. Why? The purpose is to force turnovers, regain possession in dangerous areas, and prevent the opponent from progressing into the middle third. By focusing on these principles and sub-principles, we aim to build a more aggressive and cohesive defensive unit in the attacking third. Players will learn to press effectively, stay compact, and adapt their positioning to cut off passing lanes and force mistakes. This will help the team dominate possession higher up the field and create immediate scoring opportunities. The warm-up is designed to improve the team's ability to stay compact while applying high pressure. Here's the setup. Objective: to improve staying compact and maintaining defensive shape during high pressure situation. Number of players: 5 defenders versus 7 attackers plus goalkeeper. Space and dimensions: 45 yards wide and 35 yards long. Duration: 15 to 20 minutes, split into 3 sets. Work and recovery: each set includes 5 minutes of activity followed by a 1-minute recovery period. Constraints: only one defender is allowed to press into the opponent's channel at a time, ensuring the team maintains compactness while applying pressure. Method of scoring: blue team scores by regaining possession and countering into the big goal. Red team scores by splitting the defense with a pass into another channel. Now that the setup is clear, let's move into the warm-up. The field is divided into 3 channels. Red team occupies the outside channels, and the blue team stays in the middle channel. The blue team's objective is to stay compact, block split passes, and win the ball. Only one blue player is allowed to step into the red team's channel at a time to press the ball, ensuring the team stays organized and doesn't leave gaps. Once they win possession, the blue team must quickly transition and attack the big goal. The red team's objective is to break through the blue team's high pressure by using split passes to move the ball through the channels and to get a point. This warm-up trains the blue team to communicate, press effectively, and maintain their shape, while the red team works on composure, creativity, and finding gaps under pressure. Now that we've worked on the warm-up and practice compactness and pressing under pressure, let's move into activity 1. This modified game form uses a realistic setup to reinforce high-pressure tactics, focusing on the blue team's ability to press, stay compact, and force turnovers. Here's how we'll set up for activity 1. Objective: to improve pressure, create a defending shape, and covering. Number of players: 3 versus 4 plus goalkeeper. Space and dimensions: 35 yards by 45 yards. Duration and sets: 15 to 20 minutes, split into 2 sets. Work and recovery: 7 minutes of work followed by a 1-minute recovery period. Constraints: none. Method of scoring: blue team scores in the big goal, red team scores in the mini goal. Here's how the activity works. The red team starts in possession, working to play out from the back. This ties directly into the session we worked on last week, where the red team focuses on building out from the back. The blue team, consisting of players 9, 10, and 7, aims to apply high pressure immediately. The blue team's objective is to win the ball in the attacking third and quickly transition to score in the big goal, simulating a real high pressure scenario. To achieve this, the blue team applies pressure on the player with the ball while staying compact and maintaining defensive shape. The players coordinate their actions to cut off passing options and force the red team into mistakes. If the red team successfully breaks the pressure, their goal is to progress through the field using short accurate passes and score in the mini goals. This forces the blue team to recover quickly and reset their press. During the activity, the coaching focus will be on in-the-flow interactions to guide and motivate the players while maintaining the game's intensity. When to coach. Coaching happens during the flow of play to avoid unnecessary interruptions. Feedback is provided during natural pauses or between sets to keep the momentum of the game. How to coach. Help players visualize the situation by pointing out opportunities or threats on the field. Reinforce effective actions such as well-timed presses or proper defensive positioning so players know what behaviors to replicate. Use positive reinforcement to motivate players and maintain high energy levels throughout the session. What to coach. Use short, actionable keywords such as press, encourage aggressive pressing to disrupt the opponent, cover, remind players to support their teammates by covering open spaces, compact, emphasize staying tight as a unit to deny the opponent's passing options, track, highlight the importance of following off the ball players to limit their space, delay, guide players on how to slow the opponent's progress when immediate pressure is impossible. This activity challenges the blue team to work together and apply principles of high pressure effectively while forcing turnovers. By focusing on pressing, compactness, and transitions, the blue team will develop the skills and decision making needed to dominate in high pressure scenarios. Let's move into Activity 2, which builds on the concept from Activity 1. This activity, we increase the numbers of players and introduce a more dynamic game scenario, focusing on pressing, staying compact, and quick transitions. This setup helps simulate real game situation, making it a valuable step toward mastering high-pressure tactics. Here's what the setup looks like. Objective: to improve pressure, create defending shape, covering, number of players, 5 versus 6 plus goalkeeper, space and dimensions, 50 yards by 45 yards, duration and sets, 15 to 20 minutes, 2 sets. Work and recovery: 7 minutes of work, 1 minute of recovery. Constraints: none. Method of scoring: blue team, big goal, red team, end zone. This structure ensures that both teams have clear objectives and that the blue team focuses on high pressure defending while the red team working on maintaining possession under pressure. Now, let's look at what's happening on the field. The red team, with 6 outfield players and a goalkeeper, begins in possession. Their goal is to transition the ball into the end zone, which is positioned just behind the blue team's press. This represents breaking through the defensive line in a real game. On the other side, the blue team focuses on applying high pressure in the attacking third. Their aim is to win the ball and capitalize on turnovers by scoring in the big goal. The red team must rely on passing triangles and use their goalkeeper as a safe outlet to bypass the press. Player 6 and 8 are key here, always repositioning themselves to create passing options while staying out of the blue team's cover shadow. Blue team, player 9 is the leader of the press, closing down the player with the ball aggressively. Players 10 and 7 provide secondary pressure, ensuring passing lanes are cut off. Behind them, players 6 and 8 hold positions that block passes into midfield or intercept loose balls. Cover shadows: the blue team position themselves to block direct passing lanes. For example, player 10 presses the player with the ball while also covering a potential pass to player 6 on the red team. This forces the red team to play predictable or risky passes. Focus on these key points during the activity. 1. Encourage players to initiate pressure as their unit, reacting quickly to pressing triggers like poor passes or heavy touches. 2. Teach players to maintain a compact shape by minimizing gaps between lines and ensuring support and cover. 3. Highlight proper body shape, emphasizing low, balanced positioning to react effectively to opponent movements. 4. Stress the importance of communication to coordinate pressing and covering actions effectively. 5. Challenge players to transition quickly after winning the ball, exploiting scoring opportunities in the attacking third. This activity challenges players to execute high-pressure tactics in a realistic game-like scenario. By focusing on pressing as a unit, staying compact, and transitioning quickly after regaining possession, players improve their decision-making and teamwork in the attacking third. It's all about building confidence under pressure and preparing for real game situations. Let's move into activity 3, the final activity of today's session. This exercise integrates everything we worked on so far, focusing on high pressure in a larger game-like scenario, helping players practice pressing, compactness, and transitioning effectively under pressure. Here's what the setup looks like. Objective: to improve high pressure. Number of players: 7 versus 6 plus goalkeeper. Space and dimensions: 50 yards by 60 yards. Duration and sets: 15 to 20 minutes, 2 sets. Work and recovery: 8 minutes of work, 2 minutes of recovery. Constraints: none. Method of scoring: blue team, big goal; red team, mini goals. Now, let's look at what's happening on the field. The red team, with 6 outfield players and a goalkeeper, begins in possession. Their goal is to transition the ball into the mini goals located on the halfway line. The blue team, with 7 outfield players, applies high pressure to regain possession. Their objective is to win the ball back and score in the big goal. The red team starts by building out from the back, using their goalkeeper as an outlet. Players 6 and 8 serve as central midfield options, moving to receive the ball while staying out of the blue team's cover shadow. Blue team, player 9, leads the press, targeting the player with the ball to force mistakes. Players 7, 10, 11, and 2 provide secondary pressure, cutting off passing lanes and supporting the press. Players 6 and 8 focus on closing down central options and positioning themselves to intercept the loose balls. Cover shadows. The blue team uses their cover shadows to block direct passing lanes. For example, player 7 presses the player with the ball, covering the passing options to red player 8. This forces the red team to play predictable or risky passes. During the activity, make sure players are consistently applying the principles of high pressure, pressing as a unit, staying compact, and transitioning quickly after winning the possession. This final exercise ties everything together, helping players translate today's lesson into their real game scenarios. It's all about executing under pressure and building confidence. Today's session focused on mastering high pressure, a critical tactic for disrupting the opponent's build-up play and regaining possession in dangerous areas. By practicing principles, players develop the skills and confidence needed to dominate in high-pressure scenarios. These principles are not just about defense, but about creating opportunities and dictating the game's tempo. If you enjoyed this session, check out our 8-week development plan for more in-depth training ideas and resources. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Round World for weekly training sessions that will take your coaching and your team's performance to the next level. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next session.